Why don't we dive right into the issue of Facebook first? I don't know how much you think these leaked documents are going to be weighing on either the earnings or the earnings call, so much as we're going to be hearing about some of the issues at Apple and the privacy changes that they made that clearly hit, for example, Snap last week.
Well, I think that's the elephant in the room in terms of the Apple privacy issues, because everything else to this point, it's obviously been a bunch of black eyes for Facebook. But I think when it comes down, fundamentally speaking, this Apple privacy, it's really the gut punch. I mean, we think you started seeing in Snap last week, and you'll see it significantly in Facebook in terms of the impact, where today only about 15-20% of users are opting in. That really is a black cloud over Facebook. And I think ultimately a benefit for Apple on the advertising, but that's going to be front and center for the street.
Is there a similar impact or even a potential impact on Google? I ask because they do have obviously a lot of apps on that on an iPhone. However, I imagine on the Android and because so much of it is desktop based, it shouldn't impact them in the same way.
Yeah, I think it's a little more contained impact to Google. I mean, definitely a bit of a headwind there. But this is really for social media, and you saw it last week with Snap, and I think you'll see it again with Facebook. I mean, this is something Apple is really on the other side of it when it comes to the sort of battle royale with Facebook on privacy. Now, it clearly can benefit Apple, but I think they're just going to double down further and further. And I think with all the stories and all the, call it the walls caving in on Facebook from a regulatory perspective, see, this is the fundamental issue. And I think that's something where finally, it starts to potentially hurt them. And that's really going to be the focus of investors. And what I think is going to be a bullish week for tech earnings, I just think social media continues to be the weakest link.
Where do you stand on Apple itself? What do you think we're going to hear?
I think for Apple, I think bark's worse than the bite in terms of shortages. I will tell you in terms of demand right now, it's been robust globally, especially in China. And demand's outstripping supply by about 5 to 10 million units. Now, I think for holiday season, that's going to be the question in terms of for guidance and do any shortages hurt them. But I think Street looks past any sort of the supply chip issues because demand right now is robust. And I think when you look at it, you have about a third of users that have not upgraded their phone in 3.5 years, combined with services, plus what they're doing on the M1 chip. I think this is a company going toward $3 trillion as we go next year.